Hello and welcome to another vlog from Ginger and Travelling Coffee Cup. Today I'm here at Manchester Piccadilly just to go around all the different train stations that are operated in Manchester and some that have either been made into alternative venues or have been abandoned. Hope you can join me. Now, Manchester Piccadilly has 14 platforms, each operating to different parts of Britain, some going as far as Bournemouth, London, some going to Liverpool, Southport. And it also has this, a shopping arcade. You can see WH Smith and the eating areas are all open. Plus, given the current situation, it's very, very much reduced to what it's normally like. I mean, normally at this station on any given day, it's very hard to walk through without bumping into people. But right now, at this present moment in time, it's relatively straightforward. But we do currently have a one-way system in place. Just to show you the amount of trains that do come out in and out of Manchester Piccadilly every day, take a look at the current timetable. That's the reduced timetable for Manchester Piccadilly. Gives you just an idea of the scale that this place normally operates at in normal operational windows. Now, from this vantage point, we'll give you the best view of Piccadilly Station. So there's platform 11 and 10. There's the mainline ones, the Avanti West Coast and cross country trains. And then right over the far corner is where all the northern trains come in. Now, if you've never been to Manchester Piccadilly before, then you probably wouldn't know where platforms 13 and 14 are. So I'm going to go there right now. And there's platforms 13 and 14. All the elements coming through here, all the wind, rain. Now, these two platforms are probably one of the two most used platforms probably in Manchester. Because trains can only go across a bridge to Oxford Road and Deansgate, and it's just one track going that way and one track coming that way. Personally, and this has been debated a couple of times, it needs to be extended to make more traffic come through Manchester. As we stand at the minute, there's no plans for that to happen. But Manchester desperately needs either this line to be extended or other parts of the network to be extended as well, because on a normal day, platforms 13 and 14 are rammed full of people. However, currently, it's just with me and 2-3 other people. However, about platform 13 and 14 that I particularly like is occasionally you see trains come through here that you don't see every day. Such as this, the front end of a HST. Now, at the start of the video I said abandoned stations. Now, Manchester doesn't have many of those, except one right next door to Manchester Piccadilly. Manchester Mayfield. An abandoned station, which you can still see the station buildings over there. But no trains have gone in there. Well, for as long as I've been alive anyway. That's nearly 29 years. But it's still standing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here at Piccadilly, Oxford Road, Deansgate, over to Victoria, and then come back and do Mayfield last. So yeah, quite a fun down the trains around Manchester. But while I'm at Deansgate, there's a station I need to visit. And there's our first stop out of Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road. So, here we are, our second stop on the tour of Manchester train stations, Manchester Oxford Road. So, an unusual thing about Manchester Oxford Road is it's actually built on top of a viaduct, which basically links Manchester to Piccadilly, which is in that direction, to Deansgate Castlefield, which is in that direction. Now, this is probably more used for people who go to university. Manchester's universities are just over there. You've also got the Academy, which is just over there, and the Palace Theatre over there as well. So it's a station that has its uses, but compared to the other two, compared to the other major stations in Manchester, isn't probably used as much. I mean, this station is only 60 years old, so you can see it was kind of an afterthought really when Manchester was being developed. But I think we need to get on that train to go to our next station. So now we're at Deansgate Station, which compared to others is kind of the one that's least served in Manchester really. Oxford Road, Piccadilly, Victoria get majority of trains. Deansgate gets one every maybe 20 minutes. So the difference in traffic is kind of drastic really. However, one advantage of Deansgate is it's served by the tram, which their station is just there. Now, compared to Manchester Oxford Road, this station's got a bit more of a history to it. I mean, trains first pulled out of here in 1849, and still do to this day, just with a little less regularity. I mean, it's very rare now you can get a train from Manchester Piccadilly to Deansgate Castlefield. But then again, there is a Metrolink platform which is just over the bridge. But, you know, it still serves a purpose to this day. I mean, you've got Deansgate Locks just down there, you've got the Hilton Hotel right in front of you. This part of Manchester is now becoming the place where you live. So I think Deansgate Castlefield is probably going to get more and more footfall as the years progress. But now, we've just got to get a train to the final station. However, that recently changed with the creation of a piece of line called the Ordswood Cord. Now, the Ordswood Cord was created because Manchester needed a way to link its two major stations, and so build the connection. And to do that, they had to ask the Museum of Science Industry in Manchester, would you mind awfully if we take some of your line off you to build our bridge? Manchester Science Industry Museum obviously said, no, we don't mind at all, here's the piece of land, do what you want with it. So Network Rail then decided, right, we're going to build this cord on this piece of track to link the two. So then Manchester Victoria and Manchester Piccadilly could then share the workload that only one of them could do at that given time. And it has become a pretty good success. So now we're about to take a train over the Ortal Cord. A piece of track, having lived in Manchester my whole life, I've actually not been over until now. So now we're at our final station, Manchester Victoria. Now, out of all the stations in Manchester, this one's got a bit of a spooky history about it. Because this station is actually built on a burial ground. So, you never know what you might see if you come here at night. Anyway, that wall there was built because up there is the Manchester Arena, which to this day is Britain's largest concert venue. So Manchester Victoria Station, this had 14 platforms. It's now only got 6, which just tells you the amount of platforms that's underneath the arena that aren't used anymore. But it's still as busy as it ever has been. Trains still come through it every day, go take place people wherever they want to go. Obviously it's not as busy as it could be, but you know, it's Manchester's second busiest train station after Piccadilly on the opposite side of Manchester. And it's amazing to think that these two stations have stood for so long, and until the Ortal Cord was built there wasn't a direct train link between the two. But fortunately they've rectified that little bit of a mistake, and trains now run from and through each of them up to the north of England, up to the northeast of England. The majority of those trains are run by TP Express on their new Nova trains, and I think there's one due through any time now. Is the new and old Trans-Pennine Express trains. So you got the older ones there and the new Novas. Now, just because it's Manchester's second busiest station, doesn't mean it gets quite as many trains as Piccadilly does. If you ever come to Manchester for a concert at Manchester Arena, it's just up these stairs. It's now been named the AO Arena. Now, when you think of Manchester Arena, there's one event in particular that kind of comes straight to your mind. And it's an event that these followed. The 22nd of May 2017. A day that Manchester faced fear and terror, but did not buckle and supported the families of the 22 that sadly lost their lives on that fateful night after an Ariana Grande concert. And that memorial is still here to this day. And then right behind it is a poem and just a plaque on the side to show you the time, how many sadly passed away, and also workers B. And then right next to it is also the archway that thousands of troops during World War I and II walked through to board trains to the front, but sadly never returned. Now, if you look at the outside of Victoria Station, just come out the main hall, across the road, and have a look at the place names that you used to be able to get trains to and still can get trains to. You've got places in Yorkshire, North East, and on the continent, Liverpool, Merseyside, and then right at the end, Ireland and Scotland. So we've seen stations that are still open now. Let's go and have a look at a station that's had a change of use. And I do apologise, I just realised I didn't actually video myself going over the Oslo cord. Whoops. So what I'll do now is I'll put a picture in now as to what it actually looks like. Now back in 1880, a number of rail companies that used coming to Manchester wanted a station that was a main hub. So they built this place, Manchester Central. Trains come here from Liverpool, Chester, London, from most places in the UK. However, during its lifetime, a number of cuts happened, most notably the beaching cuts. And in 1969, it was closed. Left to decay, rot. We all know the story. However, in the 1970s, Manchester Council bought it, restored it, it got Grade 2 listed status, and it became the main conference centre. And one of the remnants of the train station is the clock, because on all pictures of the station, that clock is there. And it's used as a conference centre and for Comic-Con and party conferences of the things the Labour Conservative, I'm not too sure which. But in the year 2020 and 2021, its role has moved from pleasure to a more serious business. Because, I don't know if you can see that, but on there, it's the North West's Nightingale Hospital. These were set up in major parts of the UK to help with people who had or had symptoms of COVID-19. Now, I don't know if it's actually being used, but it's still here waiting to be used if it isn't being used. But it just shows something that's forgotten about can have another purpose. And for it to still look that good and nearly 200 years old, not too bad. So, after your long trip up to Manchester, into Manchester Centre, you're probably looking for somewhere nice to stay. Which is probably why they built it next to this place, the Midland Hotel. And quite a famous meeting took place in this hotel. So if you look over my shoulder, you'll see a plaque and a carving. of that meeting. Because Mr. Rolls and Mr. Royce met here, and they've actually been quite successful, because they created quite a famous car brand, which even to this day is probably one of Britain's most famous marks of car in the world. So now we've seen a station that's been put into another use, and the active stations. Let's go back to the abandoned station right next door to Manchester Piccadilly. So, Manchester's mainline abandoned station, otherwise known as Manchester Mayfield Station. So Manchester Mayfield, which is just right behind me, was initially opened in 1910, when it was connected by the main line, which is just over there, where the train line to Manchester Piccadilly, which is there, meets it. It was initially damaged during the Second World War, and then in the 1970s it was closed because of Manchester Piccadilly expansion. It then reopened as a goods yard or a parcel depot. However, that didn't last very long either. Then it was closed completely and Manchester Piccadilly took over. However, the top of the building was gutted by fire, and the station roof, which was meant to be on there, was taken off for safety concerns. Now there's been proposal after proposal after proposal what to do with the site. It was earmarked for demolition back in the early 2000s. But as you can see, it's still standing. Now, what's going to happen to it, I have absolutely no idea. But with everything around it, it is a bit of an eyesore. You know, you've got a station there, hotel just down there, and the university's all around it. And then Mayfield Station just stood here, burnt out, nothing happening. But hopefully it's another abandoned space that Manchester Council or someone comes along and does something with. So, that's it for today's vlog of the Manchester train station. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share and comment, as it really does help us out. For the next few weeks, I'm not too sure what the vlogs are going to be. Probably going to do a few from home and look at some history of maybe some crimes that took place on the train lines of Britain and Europe. Just something different while the current restrictions are all in place. But I do hope you enjoyed it. So from Tommy Coffee Cup, it's goodbye, and we'll see you in the next one.